I'm Dr. James Markham with Mission Sonlight Wellness. Today we're going to learn about cholera. Cholera is a Greek word. It's important because it affects about 3 to 5 million people a year, and up to 130,000 deaths a year are from cholera, many being children. In the 80s, for instance, it was estimated that about 3 million deaths occurred from cholera. Cholera is a bacterial infection, and some infections hurt different parts of the body. Cholera really affects the bowels, and it makes the bowels susceptible to diarrhea. In fact, in cholera, you can lose 3 to 5 gallons of water a day. And with that water, you become dehydrated and lose lots of electrolytes as well. In fact, if you don't get treatment, 1/2 of people with cholera can actually die. Now, symptoms occur about 1/2 to 5 days after exposure. Fevers are rare, and people die from the severe dehydration. The blood pressure goes low. You develop a condition called acidosis. All the organs start to malfunction. Because you lose a lot of electrolytes like potassium and magnesium, you can have arrhythmias. If the blood pressure's low and you don't get enough fluid to the brain, guess what? You can have seizures. So this is a very severe infection. We get it that's spread in water that's contaminated by our stools. We can also see it in seawater. We see it in animals like plankton. We see it in shellfish and poorly cooked seafood. In fact, many of the epidemics in the past have been spread by seafood that's been poorly cooked. Lots of times it's just due, once you have it, to poor sanitation. Someone with cholera poops somewhere, they don't wash their hands, they spread it from person to person. We diagnose this with a simple swab, and treatment is mainly support. What do we mean support? Lots of fluid, support the organs. Some cases early on, if severe, needs antibiotic like doxycycline. Now, in the young ones, like the babies, we want to continue breastfeeding. Some children can get down rice-based foods, and it's hard to keep a young child hydrated, and sometimes they need an IV fluid like lactated ringers. If electrolytes are running low, bananas, coconut water are also very helpful. But we don't want to forget prevention. So stay away from uncooked food from the water. Seafood, I would stay away from. We want to, if there's epidemics, we want to wash our hands very carefully. Sometimes in the sewage system, they use chlorine, bleach, and antibacterials to treat the sewage. And if you're drinking water, you want to make sure it's not contaminated. If you're in a different country that might have these epidemics, you want to purify your water by boiling it using chlorine or something like that. In some countries that don't have these things, just a cloth filter where they pour the water through the cloth might be used. Well, it's interesting that cholera has taken many lives through the years. One of those in St. Petersburg, Russia, was Tchaikovsky. Many thought he died from cholera. Charles X of England. And in the United States, James K. Polk, he was President of the United States. And about 2 months after he left office, in his early 50s, he was in New Orleans, got in contact with some bad water that was contaminated by seafood and had severe cholera, wasn't able to hydrate himself, and passed away from that. So cholera is something we need to know about. Usually we can do okay if we practice what we've talked about today, and it just points us back to something that I want to leave you with today, and that's this biblical prescription. Be still and know that I'm God. When we suffer from whatever ailment that comes our way, we want to also turn to our ultimate physician for healing as well. If you have questions, I want to encourage you to go to our website, heartwiseministries.org.